Good evening. Thank you for joining us on Osrc News at 7. My name is Odurayo Soya. Ondo State Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa has reaffirmed his commitment to driving the state's growth through legacy projects aimed at enhancing residents' well-being. Speaking at a World Press Conference in Accra that kicked off activities for Ondo State's Golden Jubilee celebration, Aiyedatiwa describes the milestone as a chance to reflect on the collective past, assess the present, and chart a prosperous future. The governor paid tribute to the founding fathers' efforts and emphasized his administration's commitment on people-centered development rooted in fiscal responsibility, institutional efficiency, and social inclusion. Government House correspondent Wahab Akole has details.
Ondo State, created 50 years ago by the late military ruler Muritala Muhammad, will mark its Golden Jubilee on Tuesday, February 3rd, 2026. As part of the anniversary activities, Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa led top government officials in addressing journalists at a World Press Conference held at the banquet hall of the Government House in Akure. Governor Aiyedatiwa, the 7th democratically elected governor of the Sunshine State, stated that the Golden Jubilee offers a chance to evaluate the vision behind Ondo's creation and how faithfully successive administrations and generations have upheld it. Aiyedatiwa noted that the state's birth stemmed from years of political agitation, intellectual advocacy, and moral persuasion, driven by residents' desire for governance closer to the people and the realization of identity, equity, and inclusive development through administrative self-expression.
We owe an eternal debt of gratitude to our founding fathers whose foresight and sacrifice laid the cornerstone of our state.
Governor Aiyedatiwa restated his resolve to drive all-round growth in Ondo State through legacy projects, highlighting how the state has navigated statehood's challenges with resilience and adaptability. He pointed to major advances in education, healthcare, agriculture, industrialization, road infrastructure, public sector reforms, and human capital development. Aiyedatiwa added that the state's tertiary institutions have produced professionals of national and global stature. Its agrarian heritage has bolstered livelihoods and food security, while urban centers expand and rural communities fuel economic productivity.
These achievements have not occurred in the vacuum. They were recorded amid economic downturns, demographic pressures, environmental challenges, and evolving security realities. Our administration remains resolute in its commitment to people-centered development, anchored on fiscal responsibility, institutional efficiency, and social inclusion. We are investing in critical infrastructure, urban renewal, healthcare revitalization, education reform, agricultural value chains, and pursuing economic diversification through strengthening partnerships with the private sector and development institutions. Our objective is to translate policy into tangible outcomes that improve the quality of life of our people in line with our ease policy first.
Governor Aiyedatiwa detailed key activities lined up for Ondo State's Golden Jubilee celebrations, emphasizing gratitude, reflection, and festivity.
As part of the Golden Jubilee anniversary, the state government has designed a robust, inclusive, and forward-looking program framework that reflects the intellectual, cultural, and developmental identity of our state. This includes, among others, statewide interfaith Thanksgiving services acknowledging divine providence in our journey. 2. A Golden Jubilee lecture under the theme Ondo State, Yesterday, Today, and Tomorrow. And 3. Grand anniversary of cultural and historical exhibitions celebrating our traditions, art, and heritage. And 4. A gala and award night celebrating excellence and service. Deep seaport, by the grace of God, will be built during our time. The refinery, which memorandum of understanding has been signed, and very soon they will also move to site the fertilizer and petrochemical plant that has gotten approval from even National Security Advisor's Office, and MOU have been signed. That is another project that is so dear to my heart. These are major industries that will help Ondo State to develop so fast.
The governor wrapped up his remarks by declaring that Ondo State's next half-century must prioritize knowledge-driven growth, industrial competitiveness, environmental sustainability, and digital innovation, and robust democratic institutions. He stressed that his administration is building the foundation for a state that does not just respond to change, but shapes it. From the banquet hall of the government house in Akure, Wahab Bankole, Osrc News.
And still on Ondo at 50, our special feature tonight focuses on women engagement, and attention is being drawn to the role of women in governance and decision-making processes. And from modest beginnings to growing inclusion in leadership positions, women have continued to shape the political and socio-economic landscape of the state. Our correspondent reports on how successive administrations have engaged women and how the present government is expanding those opportunities.
Since its creation in 1976, Ondo State has witnessed a gradual but steady rise in women's participation in governance. Over the years, successive administrations have made efforts to integrate women into leadership, policy formulation, and public service delivery. However, observers say the current administration under Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa has taken deliberate steps to strengthen gender inclusion, engaging women based on merit across appointive and elective positions. Many of these women now occupy strategic roles, contributing significantly to governance and the overall development of the state. Chairman Ikale West Local Government Development Area, Funke Kumuyi, and a special assistant to Governor Ayedatiwa, Oyin Consola Aruluyi, who spoke with OSRC, confirmed that female participation in governance has improved remarkably compared to the early years of the state. They noted that women are now better represented in decision-making spaces and actively contributing to policy direction and community development.
In Ondo State right now, our governor, Dr. Lucky Ayedatiwa, is a governor who believes in women capacity, who believes in women development, and when you look at his government, the number of women he has appointed into his administration who are working with him is whole lot. So that shows that there is hope. Though we may not be where we're supposed to be, the agitation continues.
The women inclusion is massive, fantastic. That is why we used to call our governor E for she governor. We love women. We have, in fact, more than ever before. The women inclusion is fantastic. This is the first time in Ondo State that the women affairs they will be given this kind of freedom to do, as in to empower women. It's massive empowerment from the bottom to the top. The women are carried along very well, and this is the first time No, it has been like that, but this regime, the Loki Rimisa that were superb, is fantastic.
They are optimistic of the full implementation of a 35% affirmative action policy in governance as a necessary step to sustainable democracy and economic development.
The way this world is structured is not really favorable to women. When you look at it, that when did women start even voting? So the right to vote for them and for them to be able to vote also is not even quite long when it started. So we didn't start at the same pace. So the gap is there and the gap is huge. But we appreciate the women advocates all around the world and even within Ondo State who have been working day and night to ensure that women inclusion gets better by the day.
We are there and we are still going there. Let me put it that way. We are there and we are still going there.
Commissioner for Women Affairs and Social Development, Dr. Shion Osamaye, also affirmed that the present administration has delivered more dividends of democracy to women across the state. She highlighted various empowerment and social intervention programs targeted at women, describing them as deliberate efforts to enhance economic independence, social welfare, and political inclusion. Dr. Osamaye assured that the government remains committed to strengthening women-focused policies and expanding opportunities for women to thrive in leadership and entrepreneurship.
Areas of women empowerment, we have evolved and will keep evolving. In time past, it's been very difficult even getting a position, even one, for women in both House of Assembly positions or even in the state executive position. But as I speak with you today, to the glory of God, we have so many leadership positions being occupied by women, not by their gender, not because they are women, but because they merit the status. And for that, we are grateful to God. We are grateful to our governor, His Excellency Dr. Lucky Orimisan Aiyedatiwa, whose leadership has proven beyond reasonable doubt that women empowerment, human capital development is not something that we speak about, it's something we act out.
Stakeholders believe that sustaining the gains of growing engagement of women in governance will not only deepen democracy but also accelerate development across the state. Omoniola Hungbiji, Osrc News.
Still ahead, Ondo government convenes first quarter 2026 task force committee meeting on primary health care services. This and more after the break.
Hi, baby girl.
Hello.
I know. I've missed you.
Why text when you can talk? With Glow Talk Master 646, you get all the time you need to catch up with friends and loved ones. Free with Glow Talk Master. Talk for 6 minutes and get 6 minutes free. Plus 50 MB data. Simply dial *606#. New Glow subscribers also enjoy an extra 2,000 Naira data and airtime welcome bonus. That's right, every time you make up to 6 minutes of calls in a day, you get 6 free minutes plus 50 MB data. Simply dial *606# now to enjoy Glow Talk Master. That's right, 50 MB free data to connect and share as you please.
Thank you for rejoining us. You can watch us live on our digital channel, Moplex 720, and on our website, www.osrc.ng, or follow us on Facebook at Osrc TV, and on YouTube. You can subscribe to our channel, Osrc TV, Ondo. Moving on, Ondo State Government has reaffirmed its commitment to strengthening primary health care delivery as it convened the first quarter 2026 task force committee meeting on primary health care services. Ondo State Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa at the meeting said his administration remains resolute in ensuring accessible, affordable and quality healthcare services for residents, especially at the grassroots level. Our Government House correspondent, Zimwe Bieme, provides further details as the report is presented by Kemisola Ojo.
The meeting, held at the Cocoa Conference Hall, Governor's Office in Akure, had key stakeholders in the health sector, political leaders, traditional and religious leaders in attendance to discuss improved access to efficient health care, especially at the primary level, which serves as the first point of contact for citizens. Declaring the meeting open, Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa, represented by his deputy, Dr. Laide Adelami, reaffirmed the administration's resolve to strengthen primary health care system as a foundation for improved public health outcomes.
Primary health care is not merely a policy objective, it is a moral obligation. We must strengthen this level of care as it is pivotal to reducing preventable deaths, improving health outcomes, and achieving overall health coverage. I therefore expect robust discussions that will address critical issues such as health workforce availability, infrastructure development, sustainable financing, data-driven planning, and effective community engagement.
Dr. Adelami noted that the government remains focused on disease prevention, effective immunization coverage, and the provision of quality healthcare services, especially in rural and hard-to-reach communities. In their goodwill messages, the Commissioner for Health, Dr. Banji Ajaka, and Special Advisor on Health, Professor Simidele Odimayo, said sustained investment and collaboration are essential for achieving universal health coverage in Ondo State.
One important function of this committee is to mobilize resources for the primary healthcare activities. I think in Ondo State we are doing very well. You recall that the governor approved the award of about 105 primary healthcare centers to be revitalized, and they are in various stages of completion.
The basic healthcare provision system has been functional, providing for healthcare services to our people who are financially handicapped in a way, for pregnant women, for children under 5, and also ensuring that even we have this leadership program that has been done, in addition to the healthcare insurance system, both for the formal sector which has been existent and even the inclusion of the informal sector. All these are efforts of the government of the state to ensure that the health of our people can be very big.
Earlier in his remarks, the Permanent Secretary, Ondo State Primary Health Care Development Agency, Dr. Francis Akombiemu, highlighted the importance of the quarterly task force meetings in reviewing performance, identifying gaps, and strengthening coordination among stakeholders.
If you work and you don't periodically assess the performance of what you are doing, you will not know where the gap exists. You will not know the level you are, and you will not be able to plan to step up.
High point of the meeting was the presentation of primary healthcare activities alongside updates on measles, rubella, and malaria vaccination programs, which generated in-depth discussions, observations, and responses from participants aimed at improving coverage and effectiveness. Kemisola Ojomu, Osrc News.
The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, has taken its advocacy against illicit drug cultivation to Ifo and Eleyewo communities in Ondo State. The visit forms part of efforts to encourage communities involved in cannabis cultivation to embrace alternative and sustainable means of livelihood. Blessing Obi has more.
As part of efforts to curb drug abuse and illegal drug cultivation, delegates of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency (NDLEA) engaged cannabis growers in the Ifon community. Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of the NDLEA, Brigadier General Mohammed Uba Marwa, commended the community for its cooperation, stressing that the agency is committed to promoting lawful farming and legitimate businesses through its alternative development project.
You have seen the light and decided to be law-abiding, to drop the illicit cultivation of cannabis and switch to other productive and licit sectors of growing legitimate crops and embracing other sources of income that are legitimate. I congratulate you all for this. The way that you have gathered here gives us confidence that you are sincere and you want to work with us in this new direction.
During the interaction, the growers appealed to the agency for empowerment and support, saying access to alternative means of livelihood would enable them transition to ventures they can sustain and take pride in. They expressed readiness to collaborate with the NDLEA in the fight against drug abuse and illicit cultivation.
We need what you do for a year. We can do it. Who will learn what we will learn? Who go to the farm and do it? Who go to the farm? Who go to planting and do it? But we need to get on. The help of them, we must get tractor to work. We must get the fertilizer on this thing to work. We must get them to help us to do the work.
The NDLEA delegation also visited Eleyewo community, where discussions were held with the traditional ruler and community members on adopting alternative farming options. Olu of Eleyewo, Oba Adesina Agunbiade, pledged the community's support for the NDLEA's initiative, assuring that efforts would be made to encourage productive and lawful agricultural practices.
We have made a promise, which I believe those people who have benefited from the policy, and then of them again, be able to proud of you anywhere.
I want to say that on behalf of the whole community, we are grateful to have you. We are so pleased and we are promising maximum 120% support for everything that will make this program a success.
The NDLEA says the Alternative Development Project is expected to commence in selected communities as part of a broader strategy to eliminate illicit drug cultivation and promote sustainable development. Blessing Obi, Osrc News.
In other news, the Senate has launched a comprehensive investigation into operational inefficiencies, insecurity, and alleged financial improprieties in Nigeria's railway system, amid growing concerns over declining service delivery across key rail corridors. The decision followed a motion raised during plenary by Abdul Nengi and a point of order by Adamu Alero, both of whom drew the attention of the Senate to the worsening state of rail operations, particularly on the Abuja-Kaduna and Kano corridor. Consequently, the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, inaugurated an ad hoc committee chaired by Adam Soshomole to carry out a holistic probe of the Nigerian railway system. The committee has been mandated to examine the execution of railway contracts, funding patterns, operational efficiency, service delivery, and the utilization of loans obtained for rail projects. It is expected to submit its report within 6 weeks. On the foreign scene, the UN is warning of an increased...
South Sudan Army Commander says they are about to defeat their enemies. They've counter-attacked against opposition forces in Jonglei State. The UN and rights group have expressed alarm following comments by former military leader General Johnson Aloni to his men, who this time are fighting on the government side.
This is the end of the Upper Nile. If we go there, there will be no elderly person, no chicken, no home that should remain.
And with that, we've come to the end of Osrc News at 7. But before we go, another look at the major stories. Ondo State Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa has pledged to pursue legacy projects that will drive growth and improve resident welfare as the state prepares to mark its 50th anniversary. Ondo State Government has reaffirmed its commitment to quality and accessible health care at the grassroots level during the first quarter 2026 Task Force Committee meeting on primary health care. We told you that the Senate has launched an investigation into alleged inefficiencies in security and financial mismanagement within Nigeria's railway system. An ad hoc committee has been tasked with probing rail contracts, funding, and operations, with findings expected within 6 weeks. And the United Nations has raised alarm over a heightened risk of mass violence against civilians in South Sudan as renewed fighting erupts between government forces and opposition groups. And that's the news. Thank you so much for watching. Good evening.